What's up, superstars? On today's video, we're going to be having some fun and playing with the limits of DTF. We're going to be covering a realistic flame effect and see if we can get this to print with DTF. Now, flame effect is hard to print due to the levels of gradients it takes to achieve a realistic look. This is where good artwork comes to play, so we're gonna run through some steps and try to make this effect work for DTF. We also wanna hear what your thoughts are at the very end when we get this pressed onto some t-shirts. We're gonna make not only one, but we're gonna do 3 different flame artworks, and we're also gonna be pressing them on some brand new blanks that we got from Axism, and we're gonna see how those turned out. Axism is a premium blank company in LA. We're gonna be checking out 3 different shirt styles that they have to offer. So now let's go in with the artwork process, and then we'll tune back in and we'll make some really sick flame t-shirts.
My name is John. I'm your go-to graphic designer here at Transfer Superstars. And today, I'm going to show you how to do a black knockout plus halftone effect using these 3 artworks that we have right here. And these artworks are quite pixelated and of very low quality. So we gotta upscale this and make a black knockout effect plus a halftone. Let's get started. Let's start with this one. What we only need is Photoshop and an upscale tool named UPSCAYL. We'll have a download link in the description below. This is a pretty straightforward tool, so you just have to select the image. Once this is installed, you can just use the default settings. The settings are right here. We did not change anything after installing it. To use it, simply just go and select an image. Let's start with this one. So now that we have it here, let's press upscale. It might take a while, or it might be faster for you, but it would depend on your computer, how fast it is, and upscales automatically. But if you want, you can go for a double upscale. Just click it. This makes it 4 times bigger. Sometimes it might make it a lot clearer, but also it would take longer to load. But for me, on these specific artworks, the normal upscale one is good enough. As you can see if you scroll the preview of the before and after. I'm not so sure if you can see it on your end, but a lot clearer here on my end. Maybe it's not clear to you right there, but let's try to open both files just to show you. This is the original one, and this is the upscaled one, so it's a lot clearer now. Then we would need to do this for every artwork, but let's do it later. And for now, let's just proceed on doing the black knockout for this and going for the halftone. The first thing that we need to do is just make sure that the artwork is at 300 dpi. When you're upscaling, it would default to 72 most of the time, but it doesn't matter that much. If you look at the sizes, it's pretty huge. It's 55 inches in height, so we don't need that much volume. Just turn this into 300. And what we need for this one is around 13 inches in height. So it's going to be like this. It won't downscale very much, but let's save it for now after changing the resolution. So now that our artwork has been resized, it's 13 inches in height and 300 resolution. We can duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl-J or right-click and choosing the duplicate layer. And like this. Press OK. We won't use it. We'll just have this one as a backup in case we do something wrong. It's always good to keep a backup just to go back to something if you need it later on. After this, we need to make another copy by right-clicking the duplicate layer, and instead of choosing the document, let's go for New. You can rename it whatever you want, but for me, I'm not going to make any names for this. I'll just let it be and press OK. So it'll take it into a new layer and a new tab. In this tab, the duplicate tab, we want to turn this into a grayscale artwork. You can go to image mode and grayscale. There's a message that'll pop up. Just press discard. It'll then turn this one into a black and white. And then after that, what we want is to keep as much of the detail. What happens on a black knockout is that all these white areas are going to be kept and the black areas are going to disappear. Meanwhile, the gray ones are the ones that are going to be turned into a halftone effect. So, just to make the selection a bit clearer, we have to go into the Levels image adjustment and then Levels. Just tweak the lighting so that it would reflect. how much you want to keep on the artwork. So this would differ from artwork to artwork, and it's really up to you, of course, on how much of the details you want to keep. I want to keep a lot of the details from this one, so maybe something like this. That's okay once you're satisfied, but it's totally up to you. But for me, I think this one is pretty good enough. Then after that, go to Image, Mode, Bitmap, and press OK. Of course, our artwork is already at 300 out. Let's go to Method, select the halftone screen, then press OK. Another window will pop up. Just use the angle for 22. The shape is round. For frequency, this one is tricky since it also differs from artwork to artwork. But for this specific one, what can I tell you is that the frequency determines how big the halftone is and how small it is. The smaller the number, the bigger the halftone effect is. I'll just show you an example just so you can see what it would look like. Let's try to use 5. So this means that the halftone will be a lot bigger. As you can see, it now turns something like this and bigger halftones. Some things work, but a lot of times it does not. Let's press Ctrl V. We want something in between, not too big, not too small. Maybe let's try to use 35. You might see that it's not very noticeable, but if you zoom in, it creates a lot of texture. The halftone effect is here, and zooming out, it looks pretty good. A lot of the details have been kept. I'm pretty satisfied with this one. Once you're done, if you're satisfied with the selection and the size of the halftone, just press Ctrl A, and then a selection border will appear. Press Ctrl C to copy. Let's go back to our original artboard, and then on the layer area, you're going to press on this layer mask right here. And then it'll create this white layer on your artwork. And this is where we are going to paste the selection from here. To do that, let's press Alt plus click. It'll take you to a white screen and Ctrl V to paste it. Now that it's pasted, just press Ctrl D to deselect the entire selection. Then just turn the visibility back on. It would now look like this. It might look weird, but if you put a solid color in the background, let's say the shirt is going to be black, that is going to look like this. So, the halftone effect served as an illusion for the gradient effect. Gradients aren't supposed to work very well in DTF printing, but with halftone effects, it served as a workaround or an illusion to make it workday, creating the small circles. If you zoom out, it looks like a gradient effect, and it would look like this in the shirt itself. Even if you use not a very plain black color, even just a red, something like this, or a dark red, a maroon color shirt, it should still look pretty good. I'm very satisfied with this. This looks good. I'm going to save this one. I'm going to save it as a PDF just to keep the resolution and the quality high. Once it's saved, let's close this and proceed with the rest of the artwork. Now that this one's done, let's go with this one. It looks pretty small. It's kind of small. It's pixelated. Doesn't look very great at all, so let's start by upscaling it again. Click the Upscale tool in Tiger number 3. Press Upscale. That was fast. It looks a lot better, but I want to try to do the double upscale just to see the difference if it looks a lot better, since this one is a lot more pixelated than the last one. It looks a lot better and crispier. Let's just save this one. This is the one. Yeah, look at this. It's very pixelated. You can't even see it properly. And this one is a lot better. Let's just drag it out here. Of course, the same thing. Duplicate the layer and hide the first one. Again, let's make sure that our artwork is a 300 resolution and also a 30-inch height. Yeah, it should now look like this. Now that we've taken care of the resolution, let's proceed with the rest of the steps. Right-click to duplicate layer. Select a new document and click OK. Turn this into a grayscale from image mode and select grayscale. Then let's do an adjustment on the levels. I want to keep a lot of the details from this one, maybe something like this. Let's go to bitmap and make the screen to 35 like the last one. It's pretty good. Press Ctrl to select everything, then Ctrl C. Go back to our original layer, make a clipping mask, click Alt and left click. Paste it right here. Then turn the visibility back on. It should now look like this. Let's try to put it on a darker background. It looks pretty good. A lot of details are still here. Yeah, this should work. I'm pretty satisfied with this. Let's save this one. Select PDF. Close it. This is the last one. It's also pixelated. Do you see it? It's on 300 resolution, but it's 1 inch, so the file looks pretty pixelated. It's very bad, so let's close this one and try to upscale it. Maybe a double upscale should also work for this. It's a lot smaller than the previous one. No, it's done. Let's check it. It did a lot better than I expected since the original artwork is very bad. Make a copy. Hide the layer below. Right-click, duplicate later again. New. Press OK. Turn it into a grayscale. Make some adjustments on how much you want to keep on the artwork. So for this one, I want to keep it like this. There's some sort of our aura from this one. I want to bring it down to something like this. Just try to press OK. Go to bitmap. Still keep it at 35 since the sizes are pretty close for all the artworks, so it should be good to go. Let's Ctrl C to copy, go back to the layer, and make a layer mask. Alt, click, paste it, and click Ctrl D to deselect. Let's show the visibility on the back. It looks good, but I'm not very satisfied with this. I think the mouth has a lot of details that I've been missing. There's not a lot missing, but I still want to do it again. Delete that, delete that. So this is why we always make a copy. And close this one again. Duplicate it again, new. Select grayscale. Maybe something like this. See how this will look. Hopefully it looks better. Yeah, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this one. The tiger looks good, and the flames outside it look pretty good as well. Let's save this one. Let's remove the background first. Save this one on PDF. Yeah, that's how we do a black knockout plus a halftone, and also we've upscaled the very low quality artwork. It looks pretty good, and most of the time it works pretty well. But sometimes it has a very hard time processing artwork with texts. But yeah, we'll have a download down in the description below, and have a great day.
All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching that tutorial. Make sure you guys bookmark that. If you guys missed any steps, you guys can refer back to that important tutorial. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the artwork and what we were able to do with the halftones. So again, this was the original artwork. It was fairly low in quality. We had to enhance it to also do a black knockout and halftone effect to make this extra nice and thin and much more breathable. So this is the print, and it went from this to this. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the back so you guys can see the details. So when we knocked out the back, that's why you see all these empty spaces. It's gonna use the black on the t-shirt to give it that good look and make it nice and breathable. Our main goal is to have a nice high quality graphic so that the white contracts properly and you're not gonna see the white from the flip side. So you can see all these tiny, tiny letters. Everything is nicely contracted. And that's why in the front, all you see is color and no white. So we're hoping that when we transfer this onto the black shirt, it's gonna look flawless and you're gonna actually see the flame effect and have this really pop out at you guys. So this was the first artwork that we did. Now let's go and take a look at another version of the artwork. This is also a tiger design, nice, big, and wide, but we're gonna make it lightweight by knocking out the black. You guys can see right there, everything is perfectly contracted. I'm curious to see how this is also gonna look afterwards. Lastly, this is the next version where we knocked out even more of the image. It's gonna be even more lightweight than the previous version. And this is how it looks contracted in the rear. That is how the artwork looks. And we're gonna get to the fun part, which is gonna be pressing onto the shirt. Let's go ahead and talk about the shirts that we're gonna be using.